Happy game day week, everybody. We have a game next week to potentially put us over the edge to be bowl eligible for the season. It is against a team that has been a thorn in our side for the past several years, the Baylor Bears from Waco, Texas. If you recall, Oklahoma State was just inches away from beating them, but unfortunately, Baylor managed to squeeze one out, and they are the reigning Big 12 champs that we lost to in Waco last year. However, despite their expectations going into this season, their season has not gone at all what they expected from it. Probably contributes to a lot of the players that they lost to the draft at this point. But even with going 5-3 at the moment, they are not out of the woods yet. They are still very much legitimately in the run for a Big 12 title. And unlike Baylor of old, which you would schedule for homecoming, they have given us a lot of fits and trouble. It's amazing to me still that even after all the scandals with Bryles, they were able to not only once but twice find a coach to get them back into a level playing field. What with Rule and Arnanda. Um, Going into the season, they had three players on offense for the preseason awards: tight end Ben Sims, the O lineman Connor Galvin, and O lineman Jacob Gall. While on defense, they had the D lineman Siaki, I think that's his name, Ika, and then linebacker Dylan Doyle. So they had some studs already ready to go to play for the season. Now let's kind of dive into what they are. That's the storylines aside. Again, it has not gone as what Baylor has planned, but they're still trying to strive for a Big 12 title because while they've lost some, they are still very much in the race. They are still a very solid team. They are 27th ranked total offense in the nation, 24th in rushing, 53rd in passing, not as well as they have used to been. 71st in the red zone. They are 25th in third down conversions and ninth in the time of possession. They sit on the ball and they're 21st in gaining first downs. When you break it down, they do have some key players. Blake Shapen is a formidable foe and is the best QB that we have faced since Max Duggan. He's number one in the Big 12 with a 67.4% completion rate. He's number four with 8.3 yards per toss, and he's number five with the TD scores. However, he's still very middle of the pack, and he gets sacked a lot at number three. Um, Finally, he like Dylan Gabriel, he just really doesn't turn the ball over. Other notable players on the offense include Quallen Jones, Richard Reese, who's having a breakout year as a freshman, Monterey Baldwin, Hal Presley, number 14th in TDs, and then Galvin Holmes, who they target a lot on wide receivers. Now, when Baylor is on defense, they're also the 29th ranked defense. So they have a very, very solid, balanced offense and defensive attack. They're 58th in passing. Keep that in mind, and 22nd in the rushing defense as well. They are 103 in the red zone defense, 87th on giving up the third downs, and 62nd on turnovers. Again, notable guys on their defensive sides are Al Walcott, 48 solo tackles, Gabe Hall, who has number 7 in the Big 12 with 3.5 sacks, and Garmin Rudolph with 3 sacks, sitting at number 11. And then Jackson Player. And then other ones include other stuff is just noted that they are not a very heavily penalized team. They are very, very disciplined. That's a very, very surface level brief view of the Baylor team with it. Now, what are the keys going to get into this going to be? Honestly, similar to last week, what OU team is going to show up? And I'm serious, what team is going to show up? Because it's really going to come down to OU's O line versus Baylor's D line, and if OU is going to have the ability to run the ball. You cannot leave points on the field, even if it's a field goal. You can't leave anything less. Like last week, it's going to be a dogfight in the trenches. You got to get those points. This also applies to Baylor as well, as they are starting to get their team together. What team is going to show up and which one is going to break first in those very, very key areas? They do have some younger talent on their O line across their team with this, and OU should be able to exploit them, especially in some of their secondary and some of their, I think it's D line with it, where they had one or two. The big thing with Baylor, though, their biggest knock, they're just inconsistent. They can come out hot or they can become as cold as a freezer, and they can make games close or lose to terrible teams like West Virginia. I give credit with it where they lost to BYU because they just did not have their best players, and that was always going to be inevitable at that point. They face injuries just like we have. For Baylor as well, the wide receivers are not bad, but they only do really short yardage and rely a bunch on yards after reception, especially with Baldwin and Holmes on their team. For OU, you get past 200 yards, which means pounding the rock. If West Virginia can do it, so can OU. Get past 200, you are very much well in the lead, and it's going to gas them immediately. My prediction for this game is this is going to be a tough game. It's going to be just like Iowa State last week, and both teams are going to grind it out against each other. And because on paper, both teams are equal. I would say their head coach is still the best head coach in the Big 12, and he's just really, really good. I'm surprised that he hasn't got called for Nebraska or some of the teams that are opening up. And I'll be honest, since Monday, I've gone back and forth on this game every day as I don't know what to expect from Baylor. No, it's like I don't know what to expect from OU. One of these teams will reach bowl eligibility this weekend. Baylor can score. That said, it will be a low scoring game, kind of like all season it's been. In my Wednesday picks, I picked Baylor to win. After waiting a couple days, thinking it through, I stand by that on my picks. I will not change it for them. But based on looking at where they're, what success they've had with offense, how much they scored, and how little, kind of one-dimensional they are, where they focus more on the run game, I'm going to actually change it and go OU 31, Baylor 30. Again, I've gone back and forth on it. I don't think OU is going to cover the spread. This is going to be a tough game. Initially, like I said, Wednesday game, I went with Baylor, just based on the history, it being a home game, nice weather tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny. I think the crowd's going to show up, and it's going to give Baylor fits. I really, really do. The more I think about it, but again, I could change my mind tomorrow morning. I think either team can win this. It's just what team is going to show up. The thing that gets me is we don't know how good this OU team is. Like they faced Iowa State last week. The defense looked great. Guess what? Iowa State can't score. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Same thing with Kansas. They played a solid game against Kansas. They gave us some stupid touchdowns, but they had a solid game. Guess what? Kansas didn't have their starting quarterback. I just don't know about this team with it. And it's weird because we're in week 10. I don't know about this team, what it is. So, again, OU's defense, which ranks very poorly, faced offenses who just could not score or they were struggling because they had backups in. Now, not to forget that it seems like when Baylor has a pulse as well on any team that they have faced with offense, they struggle. It's going to be the best team they have faced since Oklahoma State at this point. If OU plays like they did against Iowa State, however, they should come out with a victory. Again, that's why I've gone back and forth. I know that sounds very flippy-floppy, wishy-washy prediction, but I just don't know. I could see you could give me reason for it. I think the spread is close enough as it is. It's a toss-em. It's a pickup game. So again, that's my score. I do stick by. I am okay with either. I hope I am wrong on my Wednesday one and OU is the winner and here because again I don't want to sound like a homer for it. I want to give you all as best facts as I can. I just don't know. As a reminder as well, guys, this is a pay-per-view / ESPN Plus game, so it will not be on television. It will be on the streaming services. So if you haven't got it or you delete it, gotta boot it right back up because joke's on you. You're not done with it yet. You're gonna have to pay another monthly subscription for it. And finally, guys, this weekend I'm off topic from football. I'm participating in Extra Life for Oklahoma City. For those of y'all don't know, it's a charity that works towards like using video games, board games, and other stuff to raise money for the Children's Network and the Children's Hospital. I'll be running board games there this weekend, so if you can, guys, if you want to show up, it's going to be at Game HQ. Would love to see everybody out there. I'm running some Power Ranger stuff. That being said, if you have any extra funds, this is my shill time. If you have any extra funds, please donate to the cause. If you do, I'll give you a special shout out and a standalone video separate from my usual content. I'm going to make that very special, separate video to really highlight the as a thank you for it. I really want to help out the children. I really want to make this a big thing because this is my first year for doing it. If you can, I'm going to post a link in the comments for you to go donate directly for it. And if you do donate, please leave a comment in there that I know that you donated and just how much for it. Even if you want to post it and then delete it like maybe after an hour so people don't see, I just want to have a tally for it because I have a personal goal I have set for myself for $1,000 to raise for the children by this weekend. It's like a 24-48 hour board game rush. Would love to reach that goal. I'm already up to 160 with possibly potentially a little bit more prior to the board game event starting. Again, I want to hit $1,000 with it because that is their overall goal is 15,000 for this event. I want to be 115th for it. I really do, and I want to succeed. I want to show that I am a contributor and I'm a valuable asset for them. So if you can, if not, that's okay. I hope you enjoy the content that I still make. Excuse me. Anyway, so that all being said, guys, Boomer Sooner, there's only one. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a video or when we go live. So again, I'm going to do both. Boomer Sooner, only one. Let's beat the Baylor Bears. And because I'm hosting mostly Power Ranger game this weekend at Game HQ, that's right, guys. It's morphin' time. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next